Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dead Robot Society live show. I'm Terry Mixon, for those of you that don't know me, and joining me is my co-host, Paul Cooley. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Howdy, folks out in YouTube land. How the hell are you?
We don't normally do a live show that's not for just our patrons, so this is for everybody that's trapped inside their houses and just, well, basically you can't find anything else to do. You're done with your laundry. You've done all the restocking of your pantry, everything you could
came
possibly
to the end.
do.
You came to the end of Netflix, which I didn't think was possible.
You've ran out of everything that you wanted to do, and now we're left here at the end to entertain you.
Yeah. Oh my God, are you in trouble?
We're sorry about that.
Yeah, we apologize. In case you're not familiar with the show, this is essentially we're both authors. This is a writing show. It's been going on for what, 11 years now?
Yeah, over 11 years now.
Over 11 years.
I've been here 11 years. I think it's been going on close to 12.
Oh my God. Which means I've been on for 6? It
sneaks up on you.
Wow.
Pretty soon you just die in the chair and nobody really notices.
Well, I've been podcasting for 11 years on my own channel. So, screw you, buddy. I had to take care of everything.
You've probably been podcasting longer than that on your own channel.
Maybe.
If you actually do the math, it sneaks up on you. It really does. That's how life works.
Ugh.
All right. Normally, when we're doing a regular show, we talk about what we've done as far as our writing in the last week. So, Paul, what have you done? Writing, publishing? Let us know.
Not much. Actually, did quite a lot. I'm beginning the run of the entire Derelict saga on YouTube, 1 episode a day. That'll start probably tomorrow. So came up with the graphics, did the 3D animations for that, did work on Signal Decay, did work on this other story, which doesn't really have a name yet.
The story that shall not be named.
It's called Decon, and I don't know why. I think I thought I was going in another direction, but I've been working on that too. So I'm working on those
roach
2
spray.
books. Not exactly. The other thing is now I want to go back and I'm going to go fix Derelict Trident. But I have not gotten any of those things done because I'm working full time on the robot project. Since
I hope that's still just cruising right along.
I don't know how the COVID-19 thing is going to affect that. I really don't. I don't know if everybody's acting right now like it's still going to be on time, but I'm not so sure. But anyway, regardless. I've been working on that stuff, and that's all coming out of a week of bipolar 2 problems. So, yeah, it's been a great week. How are you been doing?
I've been good. Yesterday, I finally finished the self-editing for Victory on Terra and sent it off to the editor. And now I went back to Spoils of War and wrote a scene this morning and started doing the editing on it and changing my process up because the last process did not work for me so well. So,
how many times have I heard about this process failing? We talk about trying something new every time. If something's not working, what the f is wrong with you?
Yeah, well, that's part of being a writer. Always assess what works and what don't work. And last time don't work.
And you also had audiobook come out.
No, I did not.
Oh, that's right. He's still in Audible Hell. Well, same thing.
Actually, because there was something in one of the files, they actually kicked it all the way back out again. So it's been corrected and resubmitted. And who knows if it's going to take another 2 months to get through the process this time.
Yeah, people wonder why it takes why the audiobook can lag so far behind.
I did find out why. Apparently, it's been so long. Apparently, their new promo codes that they were using for the books actually paid money to the authors. So, of course, scammers figured out how they could go ahead and put fake books up for review and use those promo codes to make money, and were just swamping their system. So apparently that is why suddenly their 2 to 3 week wait time just stretched out into eternity.
Wonderful.
At least it gives a reason for it, other than it just happened at the holidays. We're like, I wonder what Christmas? No, I don't know about that, but I think that's what happened. And they've now changed their policies. Sadly, authors will not be paid, for the promo codes any longer. but maybe that'll make the scammers go away and the process will speed back up.
I never got promo codes. Anyway,
you all you have to do is go to ACX and ask for them.
Yeah, that's probably what never happened. Fuck off.
See how you are? But Veronica says that the ACX changes are worth an entirely different show. And maybe we should invite her on for a show so that she can grumble. And you can go ahead and take the 3-hour show and cut it down to about 45 minutes. Well, you got to cut all the grumbling and the cursing and everything else, right?
Oh my God. Yes. All right, let's move on from that shit. So have you gotten any writing done on top of the editing, or are you just in editing hell?
I wrote a scene this morning because I decided the book needed a different starting point.
Gotcha. Cool.
Basically, I had already pre-written 3.5 chapters of it, and I decided that it just didn't start right in the place for one of the characters. So that additional scene meant that I had to reorganize how the other three chapters of scenes fit.
Awesome.
But I've got that all done, and I'll start actually recording new stuff early next week when I get to that point. Right now, I'm just editing the previously recorded chapters.
Awesome.
So they're going to be ugly because I never did fix Dragon when I started recording them. So they're all going to be filled with trash. But hey, that's what it is.
All right, writers. Does Terry need to document this process of working with Dragon so you can get his pitfalls before he actually makes them happen?
It's all totally my fault. I should have, as I was doing that book, I recorded when I was walking around for Victory on Terra, I recorded 75,000 words in 2 weeks. If I had bothered to go ahead and import those files and go through them as I was doing them to correct Dragon's errors in the way it understood my pronunciation, those later chapters would have been a lot cleaner. That's where I failed.
I still think this needs to be documented. Terry's do's and don'ts.
Don't do that. That's my advice. Everything. Just don't do that.
Dear lad, listen. Don't make the mistakes I've made. You have to tell them what those mistakes are. So anyway, yeah. Okay, fine. So writing done.
Wait, Veronica says, so Dragon doesn't speak Texan yet. Do I speak Texan? I don't think I have an accent. Do I have an accent?
Not that I've really noticed, but I've been told I have an accent. And I know I just put a little emphasis there. But and then I quickly went from redneck to Louisiana, and I'm not really sure how that happened. Because
personally, I think it's the fact that I just can't speak English.
What it is it's Robert Stickman's calls it East Texas mushmouth.
Oh, Mr. Provolone, you need to enunciate.
Yes, if I talk like this, I can enunciate perfectly. But yeah. That gets tiring after a while. I don't know how Veronica does it for so many hours on end. It's exhausting for me. Audio sucks.
Keith says I have a cat accent. I can agree with this.
A cat accent. Oh, yeah. In case you're new here, there will be cat sightings, probably multiple.
You can see one over my left shoulder right now, just the ears perking out of the cat bed beside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What about that cat? All right, Terry, here's my question for you.
Okay.
You've been locked up for like 2 weeks now.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, right? I've been in self-quarantine since I got back from Hawaii, which was...
It's no different than my regular day.
Yeah, it's basically life hasn't really changed all that much, except I can't go right at the coffee shop, which pisses me off.
I can still wander around the neighborhood as long as I maintain social distance, which is easy because there's hardly anybody wandering around the neighborhood.
Correct. So all that said, now you have a wife, I have a wife, we have pets. We should be productive as hell, shouldn't we? We should be just like hammering out words, cranking out code, getting all the stuff done that we never seem to have time for.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your excuse for not getting any of that done?
I absolutely have been getting it done every single day. I've been really productive these last couple of 3 weeks because not having to leave for wife's doctor's appointments because all of the non-important ones, the non-critical ones have been canceled, means that I don't get interrupted and I actually get more done. So for me, I've managed to stay focused. I even have an empty room at the end of the hall where the boy child has moved out that I could be moving stuff from my office into that I have not done because I wanted to focus on getting that book done.
You see, here's the thing. You are procrastinating so hard about getting the boxes in there that you'd rather write. That's really what's going on.
That's twisted. That's really twisted.
I think if you look at the psychological aspects here, I think that's the subtext. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I think you're purposely putting it off.
Oh, man. Michelle Berger says that she's been getting a lot of stuff done, but she's a hardcore extrovert, so feeling a lot of psychic death. Ooh. Oh, that sounds bad.
Okay, so, well, I crashed pretty fucking hard, I guess about a week and a half ago. I stopped sleeping. I had all the typical signs of crashing. It took me a while to realize that that's what was going on. And I finally kind of broke out of it, I guess, like 2 or 3 days ago. So I think there is a kind of a sense of dread and hopelessness if you let it happen that way. And I figured out what it is. I figured out totally what it is. We're grieving. We're grieving because the way we know life as it is gone. And I think for those of us who are in Gen X, we saw the technology revolution. We saw all that creation, and kind of like a lot of the destruction of what we dreamed. And now we're at this point where all of that history has stopped. Everything is going to change in a big, big way.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. I think that regardless if the cultural shifts are slight, the memory of this is going to carry forward. And I think a lot of people are looking back and going, I don't want to deal with the depression like my grandparents did. Everybody's got this feeling that we're 1929 just crashed and we're in the 30s. I want to be a lot more optimistic than that, but regardless, because of the fact that we don't know, that's what we're grieving for, I think is what's going on.
I've been so focused on things going on inside my house, even though I've watched the news of what's going on outside. It's kind of surreal. It doesn't really touch so close to home because I'm not leaving the house. Everybody I associate with is online pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So my life hasn't changed. I'm still doing the exact same things that I was doing before.
Yes, but we are in a very, very, very small minority of people who are already working from home 24/7.
I completely and utterly accept that. I'm just saying that while I can intellectually understand it, it still hasn't struck home for me. It hasn't emotionally hit me that way because it's not the life I live.
Okay. Well, it did me. And what broke me out of it was there's still work to be done. And the other thing is I realized that the only thing I can do to make myself feel like I'm doing anything worthy or productive or anything else is to get my job done and figure out how I can crank out some content for these folks. And feel like I'm doing something to contribute, especially since some of the things I've seen on Twitter really disturb me.
Everything I see on Twitter disturbs me.
There's somebody out there that I used to talk to on a regular basis who seems to be considering suicide and will not answer my DMs, will not answer my tweets, replies, and it concerns me.
Then allow me to immediately ask you to go ahead and call the authorities in his area to go do a welfare check.
Yeah, if I can find his area. He deleted all of his information. I don't have it. But I think I'm going to report his Twitter handle. Regardless, that kind of shit's going on. And I know that a lot of us are seeing it. A lot of us are feeling it. A lot of us are pissed off that we can't see our friends. Some folks I know didn't realize how much they would miss their office and their zany coworkers and things like that. And then there are others of you going, I needed a vacation from work. Now I need a vacation from my family.
After 8 days, I'm wondering if the Donner Party was even hungry. I stole that from the internet, by the way. I'm not that clever. I just stole that right off the spot.
I like it. I like it, actually. I like that a lot. The God, what was I going to say? I think the strategy is, if you're feeling that, is you need to just go ahead and give in and start having video calls with your friends. Just get it done. Last night, B-Man and I got on Rocket League. We played for 2 hours. You know, we're having fun and joking and everything else the entire time, and I felt a lot better after it.
I wish I played video games. I really do. But I got born at the wrong time for that. Video games when I was a kid were more like Pong and arcade games, and they just weren't, that interesting. And by the time they got good, I'm an adult with other interests.
Hi, Sky. Holy crap. Haven't seen you in forever. Twitter from 5 to 10 years ago. Hell yes, I remember that. Or forget that. And I just clicked on the wrong thing because this went.
You know what?
There we go.
I think that Twitter could employ a lot of people if they just, hired a bunch of folks that were out of work to go be online moderators to just suppress all the crap on Twitter.
All right, Drew. I agree with you. Here's my question. I asked this during the patron show. What are we going to call this boom of babies? This generation that's going to come up? Is it going to be the COVID generation? I really wonder. I really wonder. Oh, here's a good one. Yes, too many isolated people slowly lose their minds. It is really a problem. I think if you were too strapped up, you get too much time to think and start having problems.
I do all of my social interaction online. I literally hardly ever get out of the house. So I live on Facebook. A lot of the time when I'm not doing stuff, I'm on Facebook and I'm interacting with people. It's a lot of sharing cat memes and everything else that I find amusing, but I interact with people and that's enough for me. I'm an introvert, and that's as close as I really want to let most people get.
I took a vacation from Facebook for a couple of weeks, and
was your life changed?
Yeah, actually was quite a bit. Quite a bit. I actually felt better about everything by getting the fuck away from Facebook for a while.
That's pretty much how I felt about my vacation from Twitter.
Well, Twitter is actually better. Sue put on there, you can curate your Twitter feed. She's right. You can't.
Oh, that's actually a very useful sort of thing.
And the other thing is, I think they clamped down on the bots and it made life a lot better, but they're still out there. But I can say stuff and not get attacked now.
It's just Twitter's too flighty. By the time you see anything, it's not like, unless things have changed, it's not really threaded so much. So it's just a sea of weird comments flying by. And who can really understand that?
You can curate what you see. I only show certain posts from certain people and only worry about others if I get tagged or talk directly to me. I don't worry about it. I only see what I want to see.
Do I have a Twitter account? I pretty much haven't used it for very much since 2014, and my life has improved.
Terry's Twitter account is my Twitter account, just like DRS's Twitter account.
I do have a Terry Mixon Twitter account.
I understand
it's still
that,
there,
but you don't post anything, so yeah. I'm not going to post your shit though. I got.
You shouldn't post my shit. Nobody should post my shit.
Anyway, that's Twitter. That's Twitter. Perennials.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. That's good. I like that.
So, Paul, you were talking about me doing everything other than writing, falsely, as it turns out. But what about everybody else? I mean, I want to know if everybody else has finished resorting their pantry, if they've done all the laundry and discovered that they have actually about 40% more floor space than they thought they had.
Weeded the lawn, mulched, put some fertilizer down, cleaned out part of the garage, repainted the kids' room. Yeah.
That's what
Why aren't you writing? Why aren't you writing?
So people in the chat, tell us what you're doing. Are you actually writing? Are you actually creating? So if not, what is holding your interest and why aren't you writing?
I know last night I didn't get to sleep till 2 a.m. because of Scott fucking Sigler
That bastard.
That bastard. I was listening to the audiobook for Phalanx and I couldn't stop listening. I just could not. I couldn't put it down, so to speak. Finished it today, finally, because I had to go to sleep at 2 a.m. because 2 a.m. was bad.
Quarantines in 2033.
Quarantines. Oh, God. They'll just be the Q generation or the C generation. Does writing code count? Yeah, I think so. So okay, there we go.
Phalanx is so good.
It is. It is excellent. It is such a great book.
Have you found anything on Netflix or whatnot that you're watching that's different?
Different how?
I mean, now that you've got more time, supposedly, are you like anybody else that's trapped at home and watching more television? Consuming more video like that?
I watched a couple of horror movies that I had meant to watch, but it put off. Some really old classicals. I watched Diary of a Madman with Vincent Price, and I watched was it The Last Man on Earth, which is the one based on I Am Legend.
Good Lord. Just think of how many kids have no idea who Vincent Price is.
Oh, if you don't know Vincent Price, for God's sake, go to Amazon or Netflix.
Go to YouTube and listen to the man laugh, all right?
Or was it go listen to Number of the Beast? You can hear him at the very beginning of Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. Oh, and also Michael Jackson's Thriller. He's the voice in the bridge, right? Yeah, he's the voice in the bridge. Yeah, you definitely need to check that out.
I watched Dark Phoenix last night and wish I could have gotten my time back by watching just about anything else. It was the worst of the X-Men movies that I've ever seen.
Which one?
Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
The one that came out recently. I didn't see it in the theaters. I heard mediocre to worse about it, and it met expectations.
I really am on a diet for there we go. Yeah. Thank you, Matt. Number of the Beast, Iron Maiden. Hell yeah. And I completely lost my train of thought. We are not streaming professionals. I'm not used to going from chat back to conversation.
We're not professionals at anything.
Well, wait a minute. That's not true. Technically, I'm a professional voice actor. Technically, I'm a professional podcaster. Technically, I'm a professional writer. Technically, you are two of those.
I'm just a workman doing a workman's job.
Oh, I'm just saying. 140,000 words for the year. He's ignoring. Wow, Nathan.
Have you showered recently?
Nice.
Have you considered showering in the last month? That's what I want to know.
I am still, this is what I was thinking, or what I was going to say. I'm still on my self-imposed Marvel superhero quarantine.
What's the last one you watched?
Venom on the airplane to Hawaii.
Venom was good.
That one was good, and I only watched it because I just wanted to see how crazy it was. And I need to watch it again because I fell asleep through, I know I was napping during, I missed sections of the story and was very confused by the end. But the rest of it, I'm not interested, and I'm not interested anymore with it. I'm kind of done with the whole superhero bullshit. I don't know why either. I just am. My connection is so bad. Does it look like you've smeared Vaseline on your screen? Are you at like 320 by 240?
Let's completely not bring your kinks into this. All right.
Hey.
No, Vaseline is a forbidden subject with you.
Okay, why was Dark Phoenix so bad?
It was just unfocused. The plot was unfocused. The story somewhat meandered, and it was just unenthused. It was just unenthusing. I was not excited by it. It was boring.
Do you see this? Define professional.
Leon.
That was good. But that didn't answer the question. How do you define professional writer?
I am a professional writer.
How do you define it?
I am a writer that dedicates himself to trying to make a living at it. There are professionals that can't make a living at something, but still try, but they are professionals. So if you're endeavoring to make a living at something, you're a professional.
I disagree.
Oh, no, this has never happened in the history of Dead Robot Society.
Oh, right. Technically, yes. There we go. Thank you, Matt. Professional means you get paid for it.
Then if you sell one book, you're a professional.
That is correct.
All right.
Technically.
Does your mom buying it count?
Me personally, I don't think so, but that's beside the point. Technically, the moment you sell a short story to a publisher or magazine, same thing with a book or whatever there, you are considered a professional. Now, right. I know for the guilds and whatnot, you have to have so many sales or something along those lines to get in there, to make what they consider professional, or you have to have, made enough money from those sales to equal blah, blah, blah.
Who cares what those guys think?
But that's how they define professional writer. Whether or not you make a living from it is actual bullshit, because that is a full-time writer.
Okay, I'll buy that.
I'm a professional writer. I'm also a professional voice actor. I've been paid for it by other folks. I'm not tooting my own horn. Other people have paid me for this stuff. And then professional podcaster, same deal. So that's how I define it. Terry, on the other hand, gets so, oh, well, you have to be endeavoring to have a full-time. Be a full.
Wait a minute. Let me adjust my camera angle so you can see. I'm looking down my nose at you.
Yeah. Why aren't you holding your teacup?
Let me extend my pinky.
Yes. And you have to have a pipe in one hand to wear your smoking jacket, and your hair must be perfect. I personally don't think any of the orgs are worth joining at this point. But
I'm a member of SIFWA, but my membership lapses in April, and I think I'm going to let it go. I can have a better use of my money. I don't think they do anything for me.
So a professional podcaster, were you two not professional until you got patrons?
I've never been a professional podcaster.
Not
Even
true.
though I've been on the show for 11 years podcasting, I don't think that I'm a professional podcaster. I'm a hobbyist that other people just happen to enjoy seeing.
Okay, Dead Robot Society makes money. Granted, not a whole lot.
Wait a minute. Wait,
and thank
what?
you, patrons.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We make money.
It covers
Where's my
costs.
accountant? I need to have an accountant go through the accounts, because I don't think I've seen a cent of this. I'm yanking your chain. I know where the money goes.
You're such an ass. You're such an asshole. There are costs.
Where's my audit? Damn it.
There are costs. It takes hours to do the show for me, not for you, because you don't do anything besides
so
sit here
damn
and
easy.
gab.
All you got to do is just sit down and show up for the podcast, and the magic happens.
Anyway, regardless, I think we actually, I don't know. I would say that the podcast was a marketing tool, or became a marketing tool to a certain degree. My podcast was always.
Is the return worth the investment on it?
This show or my podcast?
Your podcast.
No.
Damn
and
it.
Yes. No and yes.
No and yes.
No and yes. It depends. Right now, I'm getting more listeners because Libsyn is syndicating over Spotify and some other services. There are some new people coming in. The same thing with YouTube. So it's all kind of,
Phoenix Hayes has the right of it here. Paul's editing charges are bankrupting the show.
I have news for you, motherfucker. It would cost so much goddamn money to hire somebody else to try and do this shit. And the sad part is, I have to listen to this show after it's done to know what to go back and chop out. And I am not disciplined enough to do that live, to mark down the time. So, especially if we're in a conversation about it. So, that's that's the problem. So I'd have to listen to it anyway. So I might as well edit the damn thing. What is on Paul's shirt? This is actually the Linux cheat sheet, and it's backwards so I can look down at it and read it. That's why.
That's too geeky.
Let's see. I think that's pretty. I like that. Well said.
I can live with that.
Let's see. Oh, thank you very much. We appreciate it. It is not recipes for possum. It's not. If you don't know the possum thing, yeah, it's all Keith's fault, wherever he might be.
Drew says the fact that you're able to listen to the entire show without cutting the whole thing is impressive.
So we should just do the howdy, folks. Welcome to Dead Robot Society. And if you want to support the show,
that should be our April 1st episode.
Oh, God. For April 1st, there's all sorts of crazy shit we could do. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's coming up real soon, isn't it?
It's coming up.
Yikes.
Like 3 days? 2 days? Next Tuesday? Is it next Tuesday? No, it's next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay. You know, anybody else have problems keeping time now that you're isolated and at home all the time? Have you lost track of the days yet?
I lose track of what the weekend is. I lose track of everything. The number of times Paul's have to go, are you ready? Ready for what? It's Tuesday. No shit.
This happened last week, folks.
He's lucky. If he'd have waited another 15 minutes, I'd have already been walking across the neighborhood and he wouldn't have had me for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, so it's been that kind of deal. Anybody else having this problem? Where you lose the days now that you're at home, or do you still talk enough with your mates from work that you're able to keep the 5-day schedule? And I know once you're home, and some of you have kids, and I'm so sorry.
Think of the poor folks that are trapped at home with their children. Hey, homeschoolers!
Oh my!
How's life treating you?
God. Yeah, I saw a great meme which said homeschool is a failure. First day, a student called it a bomb threat. It's like, oh, that's so bad. Oh, God. Oh,
Sue's not even sure what month it is.
Oh, this is evil. Oh, just missed it. Oh, yes. I missed a day of meds and it did not turn out right. Well, as a stay-at-home mom, I kept track of days based on the episode number of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That's awesome.
Won't you be my neighbor?
No, this is great. Oh, that is just awesome. Oh, beautiful.
I saw a note with a kid that was keeping a journal, and he was writing about his mom homeschooling and saying, this isn't going good.
Things that are not going well. I'll just number this way the hell up there. Yeah. Oh, that's just awful. Yeah, there we go. First day of homeschool. One kid was suspended and a teacher was fired for drinking on the job. I love that. That's awesome. So what are some strategies y'all are using to find time to write, find quiet time, isolated time? I mean, at this point, shouldn't you just grab a goddamn lawn chair, go into the backyard and get some isolation there?
You think that's going to work out for you?
I don't know. If you have children and you have PlayStations and Xboxes, I think you could probably do it if your spouse will leave you alone.
Veronica says kids distance learning starts Monday. Daughter has already started making her own coffee. She's 11. Wow.
Oh, V.
I'm sure that's going to end well. Caffeine.
V. Oh, my God. You're going to need to switch that coffee over to CBD just to counter the effects a little bit.
No, I think that, it's going to have to be the full-blown ganja, and she's going to need it.
Tony. Several coworkers have given up on the homeschooling. They said their kids are going to have to just pick up a trade skill instead.
World always needs welders.
So you think teachers' salaries are going to go up a little after this?
I suspect the bitching about teachers is going to go down a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like, oh,
I think one of the revelations that parents are going to have out of this is that their children are not little angels.
No. As Matt said, I'm a developer. I don't even know when it's daylight. Are you human? No. Yes. Do you resemble a human? Yes. Have you seen daylight? No. Get in the basement and code. Yeah. Teachers feel seen. That's for damn sure. Yeah. I think actually we do need tradesmen. Or tradespeople. We need plumbers. We need electricians. We need mechanical engineers. We need construction workers. We do need all those people. We're going to need metal workers. We're going to need glass blowers. We're going to need everything. That stuff is never going to go away until the robots come.
And by robots, Terry, we don't mean us.
No, Terry, I want you to to think about this for a second. A synthetic plumber, a synthetic android, does it have plumber's crack? Does it have plumber's crack? That's my question.
Well, the fact that it's synthetic probably means that it's got plumber's crack, but it's all over the damn place.
Do you have to be a plumber to have plumber's crack?
No, you can have trucker's crack. You can have just about anything crack. Sadly. I took electrical trades in school for 2 years, so I could have been an electrician. When I was in the Army, I was a helicopter mechanic. So I could have been that. There's definitely a number of trades that I could have went into before I went into computers after I got out of the Army.
Yeah, I don't really have any skill with anything besides the written word. Written word, can do some video editing, audio editing, things like that, and code. But that's...
JR says he'll settle for his sons not ending up in jail and leaving his house. Sometimes you just have to be satisfied with them leaving your house and hope they don't end up in jail after they're gone. Just hope they don't end up in jail before they're gone.
Or you just need to learn not to answer the phone.
Any collect calls, just say no.
Oh, this is awesome. All right, Tony, that's a good one. The plumber's crack is where the money goes in a robot plumber. I like it.
That needs to be in a story.
Yeah, get on that. That'll work great.
Are there any quarantine story prompts that we should be thinking about?
Holy fucking shit. What did I just come up with?
Trade skills.
Robots replacing people because there aren't enough people to do the jobs.
You got to have people to build the robots.
This is correct. Or print them.
This is getting post-apocalyptic there because the robots are just going to take over. Or... have you ever read any of the original Buck Rogers novels?
No, because I have better sense than that.
Actually, the stories were good. The plot was not actually like what it is in the television stories. It's a guy falls into a mine and ends up sleeping into the far future, and aliens have arrived and conquered the Earth. And the aliens live in these cities, and they keep the humans in the forest like animals. They hunt them down. And the aliens are so, well, we're just going to use the word inbred here, that they are so snooty rich that they don't know how to do anything for themselves except for their technical classes, which get paid lots of money to do the work for them. Most of them can't.
So it's a technocracy, essentially.
Something like that. Yeah. But don't disregard the Buck Rogers stories. They were actually really good. And they were completely and utterly different than the television shows.
The AI I was working on revolted on Friday. Found its most accurate position was to only make one prediction. I hope that was right. The wrong answers. That's the deal. You're prognosticating. Do you want to be wrong? If you're an AI, if you're sentient, if I'm wrong, will they shut me down?
Maybe you start leading the humans on.
Oh, yeah.
Telling them what you think they want to hear just to see what their reactions are because you're studying them while they're studying you.
Or worse, you're making it happen by giving them the ideas to make it happen.
make them a little paranoid.
Oh,
By
no,
the
turn
way-
yourself into a god. How about the sentient turns itself into a deity?
By the way, human Bob, have you noticed how human Paul stares at your back when you're not looking?
Oh, God. I think that if you can take some of these funny situations, some of these funny situations and put them together, I think that you could have some great time writing apocalyptic comedy.
Whoa, look, I must have missed that commentary. J.R. Hanley says, the corona is hitting men harder, so we're going to get those harem post-apocalyptic stories. But will we get the awesome fashion attire? I posted a picture of awesome post-apocalyptic fashion attire just the other day.
The guy whose life is so online and so anti-news, he finally runs out of Mountain Dew, walks outside, and the world has ended. Isn't that what happened? Pretty much happened in Zombieland?
No, not really.
When the main character said he was so isolated, he didn't know what was going on because all he did was he went to class, came home, and played World of Warcraft and drank Mountain Dew.
He let his hot neighbor in, and she tried to eat him.
Yeah, exactly. He had no idea what was going on because he never went out. It's the same kind of thing. If you tune out of everything, then yeah, you're going to be kind of surprised. I saw something about the Big Brother in England. Or one of the countries had incarcerated these people, and because they're not allowed to see the news or anything for 2 weeks, they have no idea what they're coming out into.
Big Brother, yeah,
or 6 weeks, whatever it is. So that's the theory. I really wonder if that's true. That was the last time I heard of it. So,
yeah. Anybody that's wanting to write a plague-based post-apocalyptic story, now you have all the real-world examples of how something like that could play out.
There we go. Fashion has taken a terrible turn during coronavirus since everyone's wearing sweats.
You know, I think that you're lucky if they're just wearing sweats. All right. Let's just put that out there.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Or the kid, let's see. Or the kids took their parents' boat first. Oh, there we go. Get lost offshore for a few weeks and come back to extreme quarantine. Yeah, that's good too. All right. That is going to be an interesting animal because there were some, I don't know if it's true or not, there's something going around the internet saying guys need to shave their beards because they are germ attractors and because you can't fit a mask over them.
You going to do that? Oh, man.
I've already accepted that I'm going to get it. I've already accepted that.
Wait long enough, everybody's going to get it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I had something in December that damn near sent me to the hospital, and it had a lot of the symptoms that they're talking about, except I didn't have the dry cough. I don't know what it was, but it was bad. And maybe, just maybe, it was some variant of that, or because I did a flu test and I couldn't find anything. So I don't know what the hell I had, but there we go.
Back way at the earliest part of this month, I had one evening where I had an unexplained mild fever, and I felt a little congested in the chest. Since then, no other symptoms, but I'm treating it like I did get it.
Yeah. I'm treating it like I will get it. Who knows? Maybe we're immune. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know that anybody's immune.
I just know that there are a lot of people in a lot of trouble right now.
You know, JR says, get a full hazmat suit, problem solved. I want to see pictures of people with their own homemade hazmat suits.
The hazmat suit is going to protect you. It is not going to protect people who come in contact with your hazmat suit.
When I was doing
disinfectant,
when I was actually using lead and making my own bullets for reloading, I got a plastic face shield. So I have, the first part of this, I could start making my own stuff.
Same thing happened to the Mighty Ginger at the end of February. 3 days of extreme yuck, fever, cough, and body aches. Yeah, I've heard that a lot from people. So I wonder.
I suspect when the testing goes around, a lot of people will test positive that have had it and didn't really realize that they had it.
Yep. My point, Nathan, was that if you go back into the house with your hazmat suit has been contaminated on the outside. It still needs to be disinfected. That was my point.
Man, there's a few countries with seasons of Big Brother running, Leanne Burwell says. Canada just canceled theirs. Can you imagine, they're doing this show and they come in and go, yeah, guys, we're going to have to go ahead and cancel this because, the zombie apocalypse is here.
The apocalypse is here. What? Remember that little thing about the flu in China back in December? Yeah, well, it's here. Anyway, regardless, that's just stuff that's going on. Yeah, 3-stage decon. That's what I'm saying. A hazmat suit. There's more to it than that.
Having been in the military and used what they call MOP 4, the Military Operations Protective Posture 4, with the gas mask all the way down to the full covering. You don't want that there in summer. You don't want that. Trust me.
Oh my God. Not with that an AC unit. There's reasons why those things are often hooked up to hoses and shit in the labs.
This was in the 80s. There was no such thing.
Oh.
This was out in the wild. This is protection from chemical agents in the field. JR, tell us about MOP 4. He says it's evil.
Oh, MOP 4 suit?
Mission-oriented protective posture. Even 30 years later, I remember that. Woo.
What in the hell is a MOP?
Mission-oriented protective posture. It's an acronym.
I understand that. What the fuck is it talking about? Because it's not exactly clear what that means.
I just said the 4 words. Did you not hear the 4 words?
Protective posture.
Mission-oriented protective posture. That's what MOP is.
Posture is the problem I'm having issue with, is the word I'm having issue with.
Welcome to the Army. They named it that.
That's what I'm saying. That's a stupid fucking name.
Stands to accept stage 4 of a chemical attack. Full coverage.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I love that, Matt. Used to work in a company with a clean room, and a case of wind was enough to set off alarms. No blaming the dog for that one.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh yeah, if you want to read about that, go read the book Hot Zone.
Asked, is posture referring to a collection of practices? And the answer is yes.
It's rather obtuse use of the term.
It makes perfect sense to me. Maybe it's because I was in the Army.
Yeah, those brain cells, you'll never get them back.
Never get them back.
I blame the MOP 4 suit. I don't know what people
I didn't have to wear them in Iraq because I didn't go, but I can't imagine wearing that in 110-degree temperature in the desert. I can't imagine.
Screw that.
I think that somebody had said that there's going to be a whole host of post-apocalyptic stories that come out of this. I think that there's going to be a resurgence in that and stories about viral overtaking the world. It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah. The question is whether or not people are actually going to read it.
That is the question, and one never really knows. I know that some people that wrote those kind of stories that already had those kind of novels out started immediately, promoting them again, and they've picked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
people are interested in reading that kind of stuff.
It's why the movie Outbreak was suddenly #1 on Netflix. It's a good movie, but still.
I was going to say that CBS All Access is offering a thing where until I think the end of next month, if you want to sign up with them, you get a month free instead of a week. I think it is.
Yeah.
You just have to use the promo code GIFT to get it. So I think my wife and I are going to watch Star Trek Picard and both seasons of Star Trek Discovery.
Well, I've been told I need to watch the Picard, so I'll try and get that done.
The first episode of it on YouTube for free, and my wife and I watched it. And I thought it was good. I liked what I saw. I liked the potential.
Cool. Good deal. Glad to hear it. There's hope. Black.
I personally like the fact that he's living retired on his vineyard, and his caretakers are 2 Romulans.
Okay.
That's not a spoiler. It's right there, right up front. And if you didn't read the comic strip that led into it, you wouldn't know where they had come from. So I had, and I'm like, that's an odd character choice. I wonder where that came from. Goes online and searches.
All right. That's bad. That's bad. I think I am going to write a couple of post-apocalyptic post-apocalyptic short stories. I
Don't
think
pronounce
I am,
like me, man. Don't do it.
but I'm not going to do it in the traditional sense. I think it's all going to be oriented on robots and AIs.
Well, why not? That's your wheelhouse.
It's part of my wheelhouse. So yeah, I love the idea of the plumber with the plumber's crack. I just fucking love that. I just love it.
Speaking back of Buck Rogers, that technocratic class, they acted like the Yakuza. They acted like an organized crime thing. It was very weird. That's the way it came across in the stories.
Here's an interesting question, and this happens, and maybe it's a nod to Gibson, but the Yakuza shows up in all these future settings, like they're in, oh God, they might even be in the Expanse. I have no idea. I can't remember, but they're in Altered Carbon. They've still got this. Then now they're Interstellar.
Well, you know where that came from, don't you?
Explain.
Back when that story was becoming big, the reason why the Yakuza and other things like that, including lots of Japanese companies owning everything, is because that's what was happening in the world. Japan was on the ascendant at that moment. They owned stuff everywhere. It looked like they were going to take over the world. It looked like Taco Bell was going to be the only restaurant left. Right. As I make a totally different joke there. But that's what it looked like. And so that bled into the genre, and now it's part of the genre. Yeah,
I just find it really interesting that the elevation that occurred. It's like, but I've seen some other gangs too, like the Mafia, the La Cosa Nostra is still being around in some of these futuristic stories. I just thought it was interesting to look back at the how these modern tales still have those trappings. So I thought that was really interesting. Maybe it's the fact that people are still reading old cyberpunk.
Veronica says post-apocalyptic fiction. Or maybe she's quoting somebody else that said it. I'm not sure. I can't follow it quite up the way.
Keith, post the link to the damn story or the collection or whatever the hell if these people want to go read the possum story. You jerk.
There's a bunch of possum stories. I wrote a possum story.
Okay, how many of you out there have written stories about the possum or about possums and a member of this show? Yeah. We also do need to get a count at some point of how many times Terry or I have appeared in a short story or novel and died.
I think I would be very much amused to know that information.
I know how many times people have killed J.R. Handley already.
But hey, I'm not responsible for originally coming up with the whole possum thing, but I did, I stood up for you, man. I made sure that Keith died at the hand of possums.
I like it. You need the death count on the DRS website.
You could post like a little spinner counter, it doesn't really mean anything. It just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly. It has no bearing on reality. It just kind of keeps spinning. Oh, Paul died again. I was reading a bit about the resurrectionists of the 1800s and 1900s. And that was very fascinating. What a goddamn ridiculously morbid profession. Basically gravedigger, exhumer of bodies to trade at the medical school. How jacked up is that?
Got to make a buck.
Do we get bonus points if we keep either of you alive?
I maimed Paul but left him alive. Does that count? In a totally different story. In the Empire, I blew off his legs.
Blew off my legs. Why did you choose my legs?
Because if I blew off your torso, then that's kind of permanent.
So you wanted to find a way to torture me later. Is that what you're telling me?
I meant to, but I never got around to it. And I've alluded in the most recently finished one that you're going to appear in the next Empire book, and you will.
One problem with the Derelict Saga is outside of the characters, I can't insert any of the fiendlings to kill that are on the list because we really haven't come across any other human beings outside the crew. It's kind of an issue.
J.R. Hanley asked, "Didn't I leave you with no man bits?" And I have to say that, in the far future, robots rule.
Well, on that disturbing note, time to switch the topic. My God.
Man, I don't think I'd put us in the same room. That would be horrible.
That's fucking awful.
I can see us bickering back and forth. Somebody separate those again. They're at it again.
Yeah, but just don't ever put those two heads in proximity of each other. Yeah, there's a story too. Bickering AIs, bickering whatever.
I can't count how many times I've actually killed off JR. I think 3, maybe 4 times. I've lost track.
Ooh, Paul.
Oh, I think that's, that sounded a little proud there because
you do
I
know
think you're just asking for something to happen now.
You do know there's one more book in the series.
Taken out.
If you listen to the last book, you'll notice none of you were mentioned who were in Arrival. Not really. What happened to you? What happened to you after the incident? I wonder. I really do wonder. Are you in an asylum with padded walls? Did they take you to a secret lab? I wonder. There, I said it.
Nathan says that he's made us secondary characters in a trilogy. If we survive to the end of the book, why do I think of us as Rosencrantz and Guildenstern?
That's much more accurate.
And if you haven't seen Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead, you should go ahead and rectify that since you're trapped at home anyway.
The play is freaking amazing. I haven't seen the movie.
The movie is awesome. The movie is amazing.
The play is so damn funny. Oh my God. Let's see.
Not Statler and Waldorf.
Well, that goes too. That goes too. I survive into the end of the 3rd book.
Teacher, me as a history teacher, why do I vaguely seem to remember reading this? Is this like a Big Brother type society? Because I seem to remember something Big Brotherish.
I don't know. I think it's really funny that the writing community does all this crazy sorting and people showing up as characters or walkthroughs or get mentioned, their books get mentioned or whatever else in places, all these little shout outs that we do to one another. And when you're in a smaller community, like the indie community and certain sectors like DRS or some of the other places, we tend to use some of, folks we know in there. And it's kind of cool.
Matt Baker says, I actually sleep in mine. My wife is currently using them to block out DRS. I haven't read back up to see what that is, but
he was talking about
that's kind of awkward.
He said ANC headphones.
I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to know what this is.
Yeah, if you don't get context, it looks a little strange. What the hell are we talking about again?
I hear they just Michelle says that they just canceled Worldcon. I am not surprised to hear that. I expect that there's going to be a host of shows that are canceled.
Balticon was canceled. Worldcon is canceled. I guarantee you 20 books is going to get canceled. It just will.
Well, it's probably, I'm not going to guess at that, but I was going to go to one in June and I don't think so. I think I've already, my wife already contacted them and they said that we could move our membership to next year's and we're probably going to do that. Luckily, even though, we didn't have to, we bought the airline tickets with the cancel for any reason we wanted to insurance. So we're not really on the hook for anything there.
It's going to be a year of suck.
I don't know that the one in Vegas, I don't know that 20 books is going to be canceled. It's too early to say yet.
True.
It's too early to say yet. I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not going to go ahead and prognosticate on that one.
I will be very surprised if it happens, but I will act like it's going to happen. Which means I need to get a lot of shit done before May, let alone June. Constellation 2020 is their only one still going.
It's a thing. I've been a member of that and watching the things go by. It's really fun.
It has exploded. What do we got? 10,000 people in there now?
I think there were like 10,000 people on the first day. It's ridiculous.
I mean, it's gotten insane. If you're on Facebook, go look for Constellation 2020. Join the group. It is nuts. It's got writers, actors, fans, everybody's in there. It is absolutely hilarious. Some of the things people post.
One of the things is that because my wife, her immune system is compromised, pretty much anything that happens until there's a vaccine and then a couple of months for that to take effect after it's given, we're pretty much canceling anything where we'd have to be around a lot of people. Yep. That's the way it's got to be.
Yep. It like I said, it's going to be a year of suck, maybe longer. Things are going to change big time. But we can, there are things we can start doing.
We've talked a lot about what we want to talk about. What I want to now know is in chat, what questions do you folks have for us? This is part of the live show. You ask questions, we answer, and you regret ever having asked the question in the first place.
Right. Just don't answer boxers or briefs because I don't wear either.
Ooh, that's an informational piece that I think I could have lived without.
My company started doing virtual happy hours on Fridays. All right, Tony, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, shit.
Where are the mankini pictures?
On Facebook.
On Facebook. That's where they are.
David Wood just posted it a little while ago. They're on the Facebook.
And I made it my profile picture.
Oh, God damn it. Where is it? For a moment, I thought you said vaccine enema and was very confused, Harry.
Well, science.
Paul wears cross-dressing is okay in 2020. He swears. I think at this point, fashion is kind of gone out the window because nobody's seeing one another unless you're sitting there putting on makeup for your Facebook video call. Of course, says the guy who showered before the show, but did not shave.
Luckily, we've been doing this show with video for years now, so we don't have to worry about, half-naked people wandering into the frame.
I've seen some outtakes of video calls that have gone wrong. No, Sky, I haven't killed you yet because I haven't written that story yet. Let's see. So as creators, have you ever had people either not get a message you were trying to get across or taking the exact opposite of what you mean?
Anytime you say anything in a novel, the reaction of everybody is going to be different to what it is. Some people are going to take complete opposite of what you meant in there. They're going to read in things that you never intended. They're going to miss the point that you thought was as obvious as the sun during the day. It's going to be a wide spectrum. Everybody is going to be completely different in what they see inside that book.
As I've mentioned on the show before, I have an English degree, and one of my favorite classes was literary criticism. And the reason was we were challenged to read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and then we had to pick from like a list of 16 or 20 different schools of criticism, including stuff like communism or communist reading, libertarian reading, feminist reading. And I had to basically pick 6 of those and write an essay in the style of each of them. And what I realized while I was doing this, and maybe this is actually the point of the goddamn class, is that you can drag out meaning out of anything to support any argument. And it can be logical. It can actually make perfect sense and have not a fucking thing to do with what the author intended necessarily. Or it may be something that's really only there for you that nobody else sees.
I just saw your wife dodge in the back of your frame.
Yeah, I really need to close those doors at some point. Anyway,
hang on. JR said that, he keeps seeing me keep looking off the thing. That's because I'm looking at the chat. Yeah. So I can see what's going on there.
Yeah, we have to keep eyes in both places. It kind of sucks. That is something that is going to happen. But here's the interesting thing. By doing the exercise and putting myself in somebody else's shoes, I learned about a lot about what I believe and challenge those beliefs. So that is something that is very difficult for some people to do or to see or to whatever handle. Regardless, that proved that to me beyond a shadow of doubt that no matter what you do as an author, people are going to take it the way they want to take it. And so basically you just got to tune that shit out. You got to tune it out. It can really piss you off. Absolutely. It can make you angry, but just tune it out. If they have to ask what you meant by this, then you either didn't do your job or they're looking for a fight. So I just stay away from that shit usually.
They just need more Sharknado movies.
More Sharknado movies. Do you have any special tips for making sure dialogue is in character for the specific characters you're writing?
If you're that concerned about it, read it out loud.
Read it the way you hear the character talk.
And for God's sake, don't try to sound it out in Scottish or Texan. Please, just don't.
Yeah, that would be kind of bad thing. That's definitely reading it aloud. As I've said before, the fact that I narrate the audiobooks has really helped me kind of spot that stuff. Where a character will use a word that they should not be using. Although sometimes I have them do that and have everybody call them on it on purpose. And basically it shows that this person is a little bit deeper than the other characters thought. So.
Tony Joy says, so don't write a whole novel in Scots. Well, I did actually pick up the Scots version of the first Harry Potter book and send it to Dave.
Dave Robeson.
Dave Robeson. I'm still waiting for, the audio outtakes on that.
What are 1 to 2 writerly things that you typically would put off but want to get done in the next few weeks, months?
Migration of my mailing list. Migration of my mailing list.
Oh, you decided to migrate.
There is, do you know what AppSumo is?
No.
AppSumo runs things where they have specials on various online things, and they've been around for a while. It's a fairly big company. And they started a mailing list service that's called SendFox. And right now, you can buy non-expiring lifetime credits for it, membership in it, and 5,000 member chunks for $49 a chunk. So I bought a chunk of those because I considered it an investment. So now I've got more subscribers than I think I'll ever have, and I won't have to pay MailChimp $60 a month. So
okay.
That'll pay for itself in a year, but I've got to actually start the process of migrating my mailing list off of MailChimp to that. And it's something that I would continue to put off, but it's something that I'm going to do.
All right. Send me links. Well, we'll talk about this shit after the show. Send me links.
I don't know how long it's going to stay lifetime, but hey, I'll go ahead and buy some of those lifetime chunks. You can buy up to 10, and you roll your eyes.
No,
you don't think we're going to have 50,000 people, sign up on our mailing list?
Wait, would a DRS mailing list be good?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I had never thought about it.
I don't know. Anyway, regardless.
But in any case, I invested the money as a one-time cost, and it's going to replace my MailChimp cost. I'll get you the links on that, and hopefully the code will still be good. We'll put it up in the Facebook group, and we'll have to find a way to post it for the folks that aren't a member of the group as well.
Okay.
Or I can give you the links and you can post them. I can't post links into the chat.
Oh, into the chat. Yeah.
I can't do that, but I will grab those for you momentarily, and you can go ahead and post them in the chat.
Yeah, I can also post them on the YouTube page.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So I will do that.
That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm looking off the screen. So keep talking.
It's a real problem. We don't have I've seen streamers and Twitchers do all this stuff, and I'm like, how the fuck do you do it? How do you people play games while reading chat, while talking? I don't understand how all that works. Paul does love the word regardless. Yes, I do, because I suck. Yeah.
All right. I posted it into the private chat. so that you can put it out there. That's both a link. That's a link to the sale for it, and I will grab the other one here. That is a link to the service itself. Actually, I think that's the same one. Same link. No, there's. Nope,
let me
That's
see.
the one link. That's the one link.
I'll get the Discord link up for you. I actually, if you're on Facebook, or excuse me, if you're on Patreon, it's up there. I modified it. It was working last time I checked it. Anyway. DRS. Okay. Yeah. I could saddle Terry with that. Make him actually do
I wasn't
some
paying
work.
attention. What am I about to be saddled with?
Well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Yes, StreamYard actually kicks ass. I don't know if that's Pete or Mike, but yeah, StreamYard actually kicks ass. Another good one I've heard is a Squadcast. But I really like this because it's primarily for live stream. So it's kind of cool. But it also records and does all the other crazy stuff. Any alternatives to Patreon yet? Yes. I'll get them up. I promise.
That's what you've said for a year. We don't believe it at this point.
Fuck you. I'm going to get I'm going to get us on Buy Me a Coffee for right now. And if you want to throw some cash in that kitty, then I think what we'll do is we'll probably make list Patreon episodes in there, and then you can pay as you go kind of deal. We'll figure it out. I'll probably put up
we
a
should
poll.
start recording some quick shots, little short episodes about something and throw them out there. It just occurred to me. Brainstorming idea just occurred to me. We should do quick shots of topic A, 15 minutes. Throw it out there.
I love how Terry is so at ease with giving me more work to do.
Hey, you were just giving me tasks. Don't you yell at me, man.
Your tasks will take like an hour. Mine's going to take like 4 or 5. Screw you.
Hey, these quick shots could be like whatever we record. You just get what you get. Doesn't have to be edited.
Somebody in here said, why don't you guys just go ahead and record live all the time and not even bother editing it?
I seem to remember saying something like that. Oh, I don't know. Back when we started this.
Yeah. Well,
I personally think that we don't, go off the reservation too much. I think that we probably could be disciplined enough to manage that.
When was the last time?
Sound convinced.
When was the last time you two ever managed to talk about anything to just 15 minutes? That's a really good question.
I can see it now. Paul talks for 15 minutes. I open my mouth to respond. And he just cuts me off. That's it, folks. We're out of time.
Oh, by the way, Pete, you can also hook this up to Twitch, and you can hook it up to Facebook Live, I believe. So we could do a live stream every week. We could do that. Anyway, yeah, Minnie has now made an appearance. Oh, she's such a pretty kitty. That's okay. We've had 2 cat sightings. They're 2 cat greetings.
You're lucky that I took Screamer downstairs and put her in my bedroom.
Yeah, no shit.
Otherwise, she would be here yelling at me.
What I hope to get done is I want to finish something writing-wise.
She said in the next week or 2.
Yeah. I want to finish something in next week or 2.
I was totally being sarcastic and poking at you. Never mind.
Oh, it's been bad. All right, Ian, thanks for showing up, man. It was great. This is actually kind of fun. See, we wanted to give you some other bullshit to think about rather than everything else. We kind of failed and then succeeded a little bit. But is there any movies you have seen recently that have captured your imagination or that you want to bitch about?
Knives Out. The absolute best movie I've seen in the last 6 months. It's available on demand, and I think I'm going to watch it again.
It's fan-effing-tastic. That is just such a great movie. And they say they're going to do another one with that same detective, and I can't wait. I can't wait, because that was ridiculous. That movie was completely ridiculous.
I want to have a chance to go through it knowing roughly what happens and going, oh, I missed that. Oh, I missed that.
The other one, if you can handle the language, is The Gentleman. I mean, Matthew McConaughey, Charlie Hunnam, Hugh Grant. There's so many people in that movie. You really need to see it, but it is not for the squeamish. It is not for those who can't handle ridiculous profane, because the C word is used, I think, in the first scene, in the first 3 sentences of the movie. That should give you an idea of how crazy it's going to get. It is as much British foul-mouthedness as you could possibly imagine. It's a great show, though. Great show. Oh, God. Okay, this is bad news. What we need is like group video call writing sprint. Just everyone get on a live stream. Always try to make the words go. Bonus game, if you get distracted, take a drink.
Wouldn't be prudent.
No, absolutely would not be prudent. When is the story about the robot psychiatry coming out? When I figure out how to unconnect or disconnect it from Soul and Beyond until I get my rights back.
How long until you get the rights back on that?
I'm not even going to talk about that.
Okay.
It's going to be a while.
Did you get a response to your reversion letter for the other?
That hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. That's another thing I need to get my shit together on. Of course, I was hoping.
Make sure and send it certified.
Yeah. It's
going to cost you, but you need that signature.
Yeah, assuming we can actually get post to Tasmania right now. I have no idea. Anyway, regardless of all that, I am writing or working on that. I mean, today, the thing about the plumber, that absolutely fits with the very beginning of Soul and Beyond, shortly after the disaster that caused what happened later to occur. So, slurring. Anyone know how to spell apocalyptic? Yeah. That's a good question. There we go. How far away from existing properties does the story need to be not to tread on the rights issue?
You have to file off the serial numbers. It can't be something that is unique to that universe, to that particular copyright IP setup.
Right. So I can write a story in Soul and Beyond that is disconnected by changing the names and not referencing any things in Soul and Beyond, but that's actually kind of easy because the robot stuff happens before the trio, before Mira, before all that stuff.
Want to have a hyperspace drive? You can do that. Want to have a warp drive? Might give you problems. If you have dilithium crystals, you're definitely in bad territory.
But I think he's asking about pirating your own work. No, pirating is the wrong word.
You can't pirate your own work. Well, no. You could pirate your own work if somebody else owns the rights to it.
Correct. That's what we're talking about. Has licensed
the rights to it.
That's what we're talking about. So that's kind of the issue right there. So I will get back to you on that. Basically, I'm kind of in a point where I have to figure out exactly when to cut bait on this and for how long. I have to get a new book out, and it's got to be something unrelated to the Black, and it's got to be something completely unrelated to Derelict. And I need to get that book out so I can get something out there. People don't forget who the fuck I am. And most importantly, hopefully something that will generate some goddamn revenue. But Dr. G.
You mean your channel on Pornhub is not giving you the income you'd like?
But Dr. G, who shows up in Derelict and etc., is the linchpin for that entire section of stories. But there is another one that I thought about this morning that I can write that I can file it off. And it's something similar. But Dr. G is something I really, really, really absolutely want to write. Because I want to write about the beginning of sentience. Sentient entities. I want to write about the beginning of the human relationship with them. I want to get into the ethics of it. I want to discuss all of those things and have a damned good time making it a thriller, making it kind of dreadful, and etc. Because that's the way I go.
He's talking about JR is talking about having a yeet cannon. And why do I see this, on a ship that looks like a submarine?
What the hell? What the hell is a yeet cannon? Oh my God. What is a yeet cannon?
It's like the main gun on the Yamamoto. I think we definitely need to have a yeet cannon for that.
Oh my God, a yeet cannon. That is so bad. JR, where did you come up with that?
It's a thing. Yeet is a thing.
I know yeet's a thing. I just hadn't heard of a yeet. No, you need a yeet. Okay. No, you do not need a yeet catapult. You need a yeet trebuchet. Let's get serious.
Ooh, high tech.
Let's get serious. Let's go for a trebuchet. Cannons are for wussies. We need a trebuchet. That's a real thing. Go look it up if you don't know what it is.
JR has died on a toilet.
What? JR has died on a toilet. When did this happen?
I think it was in one of the Four Horsemen stories. I think that he was killed off in a brothel sitting on the can before he could actually complete the deed. If memory serves.
And what was the deed?
He's in a brothel. What do you think the deed is?
Oh, that deed. Well, I thought you meant on the toilet, that deed.
No. Well, I don't know about that. I didn't actually read the story. I'm not sure, where we were in the process.
No, he says no, a toilet landed on him.
Oh. That's even better in a way. That's true. I killed you on a toilet, but it was a low-tech toilet.
Yes, this is live. And a high. I've been killed on a toilet?
I killed you on a toilet. You were in an outhouse.
Right. Okay. Fix that link and you'll find an official yeet cannon.
We don't see your links because you may have posted it here, JR, but nobody can see it.
Yeah.
Only Paul can post links.
Yeah. Well, actually, you should be able to post links.
It won't let me post links either.
I need to add you as moderator next time, and then I think you can. I'll have to get that. We're still working on this. I know we're stupid or look stupid, unprofessional, and that's because we don't do this very often. But I guess we should do it more often because a lot of you are going to be around and have nothing to freaking do. So,
we're gonna have to figure out what we're wanting to do with this.
I don't know.
Maybe we should move the show time to record it on Saturdays while quarantine is in effect. Maybe
that's what we'll do. I have no problem with that. It's not like I have anywhere to go. I don't have anything to do. Professionally unprofessional. Yes, that is the wonderful part about this show. Terry and I actually got taken to the woodshed for our show being all over the place, for us not being focused on anything, for it being essentially an aimless talk show.
Do they know us?
And I was like, yeah, that's what we do. If you don't like it, fuck off. But they were like,
I can't believe they have a Patreon. Who would pay for this shit?
Some people are so technically focused that they don't understand the whole social context.
Yeah, fuck them.
And that's fine. If that's the person you want to be, rock on. We are not for you.
Yeah, fuck off. Anyway, yeah, that should work. I am really working hard on trying to find something I can read for my Patreon, but I am going to, like I said at the beginning of the show, the Derelict Saga will start running on YouTube 1 episode a day, starting tomorrow. And I'll only do the chip chat every 7 episodes, just like I do with the podcast. But that's going to run only on YouTube because I'm running other stuff in my podcast feed. So if you're interested in that, would be something to steal up some of your time, or you can go listen to other podcasts, or you can plumb through the 574 episodes of DRS,
or you could write.
But if you're looking for a break, you should always be writing. Says the guy who hasn't been writing. Go figure.
Maybe we should be posting snippets of what we're doing every day.
I thought about doing that for my patrons, but I kind of was like, I'm not really sure if I want to do that because I have this horrible tendency of going, oh, I don't like that, and throwing that section away and putting something else in.
Who cares? This is a glimpse of the work in progress. Nothing is ever guaranteed to be in the final product. Not until you hit publish, and then maybe not even then.
Well,
that's my view about it. My patrons get my first draft chapters. Basically, I dictate them and then I do one editing pass, and then they get them. That may end up on the final product. It may not. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I will get the Discord out there. I will probably need a few volunteers for moderation if we're going to do that. So Drew said this is why Discord voice chat will be good for all of us. Just hop in and talk while you're writing, because what else are we going to do?
I turn off my internet. If I have the internet, I'll do anything but write. It's a bad thing for me.
You see, that's what ticks me off about not being able to go to the coffee house, but I figured it out. I'm going to start writing at the kitchen table with just my iPad. And that way I won't have any distractions.
Two things here. JR is asking if there's any new genres we plan on branching out to. I really swear I'm going to write a lit RPG novel. I really do swear that. I want to. I've been reading almost exclusively lit RPG for the last 2 years. I totally want to write one because I've been a gamer for 40 years as far as the tabletop gaming, and I absolutely want to write one of those. What about you, Paul?
What have I not touched?
Well, the problem with you is it's a mishmash of genres. Is there any big scale genre that you haven't touched that you might want to do?
I guess a real romance and a Western. A real Western. But the problem is the Western I have in mind.
You just can't keep it clean. It's not going to be a real Western.
No, it won't. It will be.
Hey, Westworld is a thing right now. You can make it happen.
It will be a Lansdale type Western. But it will also.
It's a Lansdale type Western. What is that?
See, I can't believe you've never read any Joe R. Lansdale. I can't believe this. One of Texas's premier authors. One of our best kept secrets, man.
Apparently, it's a great secret. I have no idea who this person is.
Fuck me. He writes pulp. Wrote a very Happen Leonard is based on his books. The series that was on Amazon. I think it was on Amazon. I can't remember. Anyway, you should go look it up.
I will.
It's those books are hilarious. He's also written. He wrote Act of Love, which is one of the. That was a serial killer story in the style of Thomas Harris a long time before Thomas Harris wrote Lecter. And he's got a ton of short stories. This is a guy I talked about whose wife, whenever something broke, like the dishwasher, she would make him popcorn with just the spiciest, craziest mix of ingredients because it gave him nightmares. And then he'd go write them and sell the short story and make enough money to fix the dishwasher.
Whatever works, man.
Anyway, he loves to do things. I think he loves to mix zombies with Westerns, with anything. He just loves to just throw all that stuff together. He just has a lot of fun. And his books are really, really great. You should, if you don't know what Bubba Hotep is, find that shit. That's based on one of his stories. It's hilarious.
Veronica is asking me whether or not I find that posting my chapters to Patreon is effective. And it does the purpose that I want to. And that's, it makes me have to continue writing, even if I don't feel like writing. Because once I start posting the chapters, they go out live at 5 p.m. my time every other day. So if my ass doesn't keep up, then my ass is hanging out in the wind. So it's a good motivational tool for me, which is all I really ever intended it for. The fact that some folks are getting in early and seeing what's going on, hey, that's great. I absolutely love that. But it's mainly a tool for me.
I have to get things kickstarted again. So, and I have to do it while I'm on an up cycle, or at least medium, before I crash again. Which is another thing I need to talk about I need to get fixed. Anyway, that notwithstanding, I am not Chuck Tingle. I can't even talk. Tick. Yeah, whatever. Oh, that's interesting. What are the rules about posting on Patreon and not breaking Amazon Kindle Unlimited?
I only make the public portions of that, the first couple of chapters, and as soon as the book actually is published, I delete all the chapters. So I avoid doing that. That's how I avoid canceling it, getting their terms of service into a knot. I suppose you could leave it behind the paywall, and that would be a technical violation. Would they ever know about it? I don't know. I don't take any chances. Part of my thing is once the whole thing is done, the patrons get the final chapter of that story at least a month, 6 weeks, occasionally 2 months before the book goes live. So I've got plenty of time to go ahead the day before publication to go back and delete all the posts that have the chapters in it.
Okay. The way I get around that is I'm posting the rough draft, essentially. I put the advanced reader copy on the site, and that stays there for my patrons, but they do not get the final product.
That's what I do at the right level. The day before I publish, those that are of the appropriate support level will get a copy sent to them.
Yeah, right. And they also get access to the audiobook, the special edition. I do not post.
It's an advanced copy. I suppose I could leave the chapters up there, but I've gotten in the habit of deleting them, and it works. Nobody's complained, so I think I'll just keep doing that. Because who wants to cross Amazon?
Leon, I am not vaping something other than nicotine. I live in Texas. That's illegal.
That's not Leon.
Leanne, I said.
No, you didn't.
Leanne, not Leon.
And then she didn't say vaping either. She said gaping, which is a totally different show.
She meant vaping. I know what she meant. Stop embarrassing people who can't get around autocorrect.
Hey, I am one of the ones that goes against autocorrect all the time. So
yeah, I've noticed.
So I just can't help it.
Okay. That's the wrong one. I'm sad that the guy's backgrounds aren't stacks of toilet paper. I actually played a little bit with I can't believe I said Leon. Screw all of you. I said Leanne. Said that the guy's backgrounds aren't stacks of toilet paper. I played with the green screen a little bit before we started this show. It turns out I need to dig out my real green screen and get that set up. But I thought about doing something like that.
We could totally, once I get my office cleaned out, I could get a little framework to put behind me and hang a real green screen behind us. I don't know what you'd put on there. It would probably be horrifying.
Actually, you can put your green screen. I don't have to do one for you. I can do one for me. We could do that. It'd be obnoxious. We could do it.
Maybe we'll do something like that. One of the things I need to do is once I get my office cleaned out, I need to go ahead and start getting prints of my covers and putting up on the wall.
Yeah, no kidding. Thank you. We'll see how you feel after you read number 4. Oh, there we go. Just print a picture of a space setting for a background. That's boring. Mine needs to have tentacles coming out of her or something. Terry's will just have a sexy woman wearing a suit.
Sexy women wearing suits. That reminds me.
Oh, no.
I didn't know this was a thing.
Oh, no.
But apparently they mentioned this earlier in the chat, and I blame JR for this. He mentioned lit RPG harem fantasy novels. Apparently that's a thing.
I
happened across one that was quite explicit. Maybe about 2 months ago. And I was like, oh, spicy, very spicy. As someone that started out writing erotica, spicy scenes don't bother me. And it was interesting to see it be so graphic in a mainstream novel. I know that a lot of romance novels don't close the door, but this was pretty graphic. And I was like, I'm impressed. I'm surprised that wasn't hidden by Amazon.
Yeah, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. When does it become porn? When does it become erotica?
I think Amazon's definition of what is erotica is different than everyone else's.
I think you're probably right on that. Eric Van Lusbader wrote really explicit sex scenes. And there was never a problem. But I mean, that was back in the 80s. Let's see. Where are we going? Oh.
Is it erotica when you mentioned penis and vagina. I can't do Dr. Ruth. I'm afraid I can't do Dr. Ruth here. I'm sorry.
I was so pissed when I posted the Garrus Inferno commercial thing, and the word penis is used in like the third paragraph, and they freaked out, and they're like, "You have to change your promotional deal. It's too explicit." And I'm like, I didn't even use the F-bomb. The fuck? Turns out penis. Penis was the problem. Nothing else but penis. Fuckers.
Penis is always the problem.
It's just so ridiculous. Somebody asked something somewhere.
Veronica says she's auditioned for them. So I guess if, I start writing harem fantasy lit RPG, she's going to be right there for me.
Harem?
I mentioned this earlier. Did you not hear it?
No, I heard it. I'm blocked.
Apparently that's a thing. It's apparently a subgenre of lit RPG.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Apart from lit RPG, is there anything else you feel like tackling?
I keep thinking that I'm going to go ahead and write mysteries, but it never seems to happen. That always just happens to be, if I'm going to do it, it's not going to be a full-blown mystery. It's going to be a mystery as part of something else. I used to read tons of mysteries, but I don't anymore. I guess technically cozies. I like cozies.
And I like more suspense. To go figure. Suspense.
Amish lit RPG erotica. I don't think there is anything as such thing as Amish lit RPG. That's not real, man.
I'm telling you, man, we just have got to write our Amish post-apocalyptic novel. It just has to happen. It just has to happen. Sky. Well, get that kid on YouTube. Start making some money. How do folks who get a little iffy writing sexy times get around it? Do you need the sexy times? You can basically start the sexy times and then close the door. If you're not comfortable writing the intense play-by-play, I almost said blow-by-blow, the play-by-play.
You just did. Thanks for saying that.
I think that you just close the door, and that's what I usually do if I'm not comfortable. There are times where, like Agraga stuff, I can't shy away from it. There is no closing the door. That's part of what these things are, is they're essentially sexual vampires. So you can't really close the door.
I think that the answer to that question is whatever your comfort level it is going to be fine. Unless you're writing erotica, you don't have to be explicit. You don't have to have the door open for a sex scene. It's not required. No other genre mandates that you must show the goodies.
Yeah. Jane Austen never showed the goods. Never had to. There you go. Because the romance had nothing to do with that. The story didn't revolve around sex. If a story revolves around sex, then you are not going to be able to close the door. If it does not revolve around sex and there's actual story there beyond that, then there you go. You can choose to go as far as you want. All right. Yes, JR, I know, because it didn't have any explosions in it. Do you guys have different tastes between movies and books?
Yes.
That's an interesting question.
I like action movies. I like lots of things happening, but I can deal with a book that isn't all action, that is more inside the character and more adventure and exploration. So while they're not completely at odds, definitely different tastes.
I think I'm the same way. The same way.
Drew says, once you pull the zipper down, you can't get the horse back in the barn. That's funny.
I like watching comedies. There are very few I like reading. And there are very few comedies out there that I will even watch because they typically are just mindless, stupid bullshit and doesn't interest me.
This is comedy these days is not the same as thing that I think is funny.
Well, that's because you're old. But it's more along the lines of, there are movies that are stupid, that are made to be stupid, that have certain aspects to them that you love and you can get it with. I like Kevin Smith movies. I couldn't tell you why. They're horrible. They're awful. And I love them. But I won't read something like that, probably. I will read mysteries, thrillers. I do watch those as well. In fact, those are some of my favorite things to watch. Hinterland is the last one I watched. It's really good. Really good. And I really want to write one of those set at Mars. Earther is what I want to call it. So that's something I want to read and want to write hardcore. But I can have
Dogma was good.
Yeah, Dogma was excellent. Oh my God, Dogma is a fantastic flick. Fantastic flick. Oops. Ah! We've been babbling for an hour and 40 minutes, man.
We do need to start looking for an exit strategy.
An exit strategy. That means I have to like load up patrons or something.
You don't have to. This is a live show.
Yeah, but we end every show, and this is a show. So
well, then I think that's what you should do.
That's what I'm going to do. And I had this up a while ago. Apparently, I closed the tab.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll actually give the actual exit spiel since I started this show off. Folks, if you want to send us an email and talk about any of these subjects or something completely different, send us an email at show@deadrobotsociety.com. You can find Paul on Twitter at Paul_E_Cooley. You can find the listeners of the Dead Robot Society Facebook group on Facebook, where all the cool kids hang out and talk about writing and whatever else pops their fancy. We have to thank the good folks at podhoster.com who host the audio for our website. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/DRS podcast. And if you are a patron, where you can support us at DRS podcast, patreon.com/DRS podcast and get exclusive content for as little as $1 a month. And if you are a $10 supporter, you get your name read during the show's ending. Like now.
Yeah, our $10 patrons are Andrew Smallwood, JD Barker, Chris Winder, Drew Angry Fiesta Rodan, Cheryl Winters, Nathan Cosby, Rick Pinched Nerve Shaw, that sucks, dude, Isabel Cushy, Veronica Jaguar, and Tony L. Joy. And that was for February. I don't have the March stuff. So if you joined since then, I'm sorry you didn't get your name mentioned. But
and for this particular show, we want to give our special thanks to Tony Joy for being the moderator. Hopefully he didn't have to, police off every bit of commentary that was just utterly terrible in there. So we hope it wasn't awful.
Yeah, I doubt we had that since I think our max users was maybe 40. People were like, what is this? Quit.
What's this stuff? It's boring. It's just two old guys talking.
Well, if you like this, we will do it again. And we will definitely do it again. Maybe we'll do it again next week at 3 p.m. again.
I think let's plan on doing that. While we are in lockdown for the foreseeable future, we'll go ahead and start doing this on Saturday so that folks can tune in.
And, get an hour and 40 minutes of us babbling.
If you wanted to nap while we're talking, feel free.
It's like a baseball game. You can fall asleep somewhere and, and then come back and nothing's really changed.
Yep. Still two old guys talking on the YouTube.
Still two old guys talking. But we should bring on a special guest next time.
Ooh, who should we bring?
I don't know.
You brought it up. You've now got to come up with a guest.
Well, Veronica can bitch about Audible.
Okay, then. We'll just bring Veronica on.
Okay. Well, we should probably talk to her about
We should probably talk to her first, Probably so.
Just first sitting there going, ooh, ooh, ooh. All right.
But make sure and keep at least 2.5 hours of time, allocated for, grumbling about ACX.
Oh God, no, we're not going to spend the entire time bitching about them. We'll have other things to bitch about. Trust me. All right, folks, we will see you later. Thanks for showing up.
Stay inside, stay safe.
Stay inside, stay safe, and keep talking. Keep talking to one another. Keep social. Do not crawl into the hole, please.
Keep creating.
Keep creating. All right, folks, we love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.